But do you think of any of these separate layers, like everything you're doing from producing, like, is it all, I'm wondering, from books to other projects you have going, the tours, the helping people, do you see them as different creative efforts that require kind of different channels of your brain, or is it just from this one place, this source that you're just working from?
The idea emerges within me and around me, and then usually right away tells me the medium or the form. Mm-hmm. So it'll be like this. I just wrote a couple plays recently. This is a play. It is. This is a tour. This is a book. This is a...
Have you written a play before?
No.
So what kind of gumption do
and
you
we
have,
just
Rob
did,
Bell, to think you could do that?
Last year we did a workshop readings at a theater here in the neighborhood, and we cast it and sold out, I think, a couple nights of tickets, and then it was just and I sat in the crowd.
Did you direct the play?
No,
then?
Kristen Hange did. She was nominated for a Tony for Rock of Ages on Broadway, and she's like, "Oh, I'll direct." So she's directing, and so much fun.
How do you find talent just hanging around L.A. like that?
Yes, I mean we can just go down to the. We can go down to the
you live in a
backyard
great
bowl
spot,
a couple blocks away,
not far from
and
the Largo and everything
just
else.
throw a rock, and half the restaurant will be working on a script if they're not in there typing on something.
Right.
But let me back up to your question about everything is talking to everything else. Is the best way I could explain it. Mm-hmm. So my daughter and I were listening to Lizzo, and that's reminding me of the new Liam Gallagher documentary, As It Was, which is reminding me of something Christopher Alexander says in one of his books, which is reminding me of riding by on a bike with my daughter, the John Elliott store, who just did a collab with LeBron, which reminds me of a piece of graffiti I just saw just before I saw you just now. The Revolution will be spray painted as a new giant graffiti right there in Beverly, like 3 blocks from here.
Yeah.
So textures, colors, things I've seen. They just trimmed that palm tree out there. It's all. I'm trying to think how to say this. It's all talking. They're all parts of a whole.
Yeah. And you don't know what will be the catalyst of a relationship between the other that becomes this third thing.
Right. So I just know that a lot of times it's the alchemy between all of these parts that exist within wholes that generate something within that's something. Mm-hmm. And then it grows. It gains a head of steam. Other things like a snowball going down a hill attach to it. Mm-hmm. And then I'll have an idea that, like this Everett Rogers, in 1962, this scholar wrote a book on the diffusion of innovation, which is the innovation curve. That there are the innovators, there are the early adapters, the early majority, the late majority, 60s. The laggards. Yes, 62. But I've been thinking about the innovation curve in terms of anybody, anywhere, who is like, there's got to be a better way to do this.
Right.
Some mom somewhere, some person who runs a floral shop, some public school teacher who's like, there's got to be a better way to teach math to third graders. Mm-hmm. The bell curve of innovation, I'm just going to take it and put it on that person. You're now exploring, or if you're a parent, no one's ever raised this kid. So at some level, we're innovating here because this kid hasn't been brought into the world before.
Right.
So suddenly this 1962 curve is speaking to me about everybody everywhere who's like, there's got to be a better way to do this.
Right.
So if you even think about the curve graphically, at the very front, innovator there is a tiny little bit of the people. So number one, if you feel lonely, that's how it works. Mm-hmm. Number two, if it feels like 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Yep.
Right.
So that's what happens, and that's like a data thing, anthropology, sociology, technology, that. But then suddenly that's about every one of us, like, I know this is, I'm going to keep at this. Right. Because I think there's something here.
Right.
So that's what happens, is things that wouldn't be connected start talking to each other.
This Full Exposure podcast episode has been made possible through the support of Metro Health, University of Michigan Health, and Dr. Peter Hahn, who believe that creativity and the arts are essential to a rich, healthy, and fulfilling life.